Now let's think about how we can add all these values, so these values, into one data frame, pandas data frame. So I thought about having like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus the lot size, 8 columns in the data frame. And then for each row you'd have, like, for price you'd have 725,000 for this, and then the next one for 152,000, and so on until all the properties are consumed. So I hope the structure is clear. And how to do that now? Well, one solution would be to maybe iterate through the data frame, but that's a costly solution. It takes a lot of time, so the process may become slow when you iterate through data frames, because data frames are not built to iterate through them. So it's probably better to create a data frame out of a Python dictionary or out of a list of dictionaries maybe. And actually that's what I'm gonna do. At each iteration, what I'll do is I'll add these values to a dictionary. So for instance, I'll start with the first dictionary. In the first iteration I would have like a price key and the value of the price as the first pair of the dictionary, and then the next pair of that same dictionary would be the address key and the address value. And then we go to the next pair, so we add the third pair here, and then a fourth pair, and fifth, sixth, and seventh, and eighth. So 8 pair, a dictionary of 8 pair in the first iteration. Then in the next iteration I need to create yet another dictionary with the same keys. So we'd have again price and the value for that price, which would correspond to the value of the second property. And so I'll build a second dictionary and then a third dictionary and so on until all the 10 properties here are consumed. So I'll end up with 10 dictionaries. Now you also need to store these dictionaries somewhere, because if you just iterate through dictionaries and you lose them at each iteration, then you haven't done anything. So what we'll do, we'll store those dictionaries in a list. So the first thing you may want to do is you want to start each iteration with an empty dictionary, so that you can add the key value pairs to that fresh dictionary. So once you create an empty dictionary, then you go ahead and replace these print statements. So you'd want, let's say, price as the key of the first dictionary, and that would be equal, we don't need the brackets, this one either. So that's it. Similarly, you can do this was address, remove that, again here, let's call this locality. So we are creating keys on the fly, so price, address, and locality, and we are assigning values to those keys again on the fly. So maybe it would make sense to have price down here, so we start with address, locality, and then the price, and that would be the beds. And if there are no beds, then you need to pass none for the beds. And then again that would be area, which is equal to these again. Same thing for area none when there is no area, and one more here, full baths. We copy this, none, and this would be half baths. Equal to none. And we have a print statement here which we don't need. So here we are going through each group feature name. If lot size in feature group text, then let's call this lot size is equal to feature name text. And let's remove this print statement. And so at the end of this loop, you'll have your first dictionary. So at the end of the first iteration, you'll have your first dictionary. And now you want to store that dictionary somewhere. So let's store it in a list. So normally you need to create a list outside of the loop, an empty list there. And then at the end of the loop, so which is exactly here, you want to append the dictionary. So you'll get a list of multiple dictionaries. In this case, you'll get a list of 10 dictionaries. Let's execute this. We've got an invalid syntax there. Bads, I forgot to have the assignment operator there. And alright, no error this time. Let's print L here. And it's looking good. So you can check the length of this. So it's 10. And now if you want to throw this list of dictionaries to a data frame, so this list to a data frame, well, you'd need to use pandas. And then df is equal to pandas.data frame. And here we need to write a really long statement. I'm joking. You just need to pass the list there and you create a data frame out of that list of dictionaries. So let's check the data frame. And boom, here are the data. And as you can see, we even got nan values when there is not a lot size. So pandas understands when there are no data in the dictionaries. So for instance, here we didn't have a lot size, and pandas will assign a numpy nan value for that, which if you want you can simply replace with a non value. And then you need to work a lot to save this to a CSV file, a really long statement. Okay, so output.csv, and it should be good to go. Let me check that. Here is the file. And here are the data. So it's looking good. Great, now what comes next? When, as you might guess, we need to go and get the properties of all the pages. So second page and third page. So we'll do that in the next lecture. See you.